Hi, this is Amy, and in this training video I'm going to share with you some strategies you can use to make a passive income by publishing repurposed or free content on Amazon. A lot of people think that you actually need unique content to publish to the Kindle and CreateSpace platforms, and that is not actually true. So in this short video, I'm going to go over some strategies that you can use right now to create and publish content quickly on Amazon and build up a passive income. The first one, and probably the most well-known one, is to sell public domain books. And when you're selling public domain on Amazon, you only get a 35% commission or royalty, but this can be a good way to build up a passive income. What you want to do is look beyond popular novels and check out other types of public domain content. This link here I'm including at ebookfriendly.com has some great sources for free public domain books. The other thing is you do have to do what's called differentiating your content when you publish it to Amazon as public domain. It has to be translated, annotated, illustrated, and marked as so. However, this does not necessarily mean extensive changes. For example, for illustration, I believe you only have to include 10 images. Check this link here and take a look at what the specifics are. But once you've made that change, you can then upload your public domain book as differentiated, including how you're doing that, and they should publish that. The second way you can do this is you can actually use their free Kindle comic creator, which allows you to easily create and format graphic novels, comic books, and picture books. And you can get it here at this link to download it. And there are a ton of public domain comics that are now available online. One of the best sites is comicbookplus.com, but there are a ton of other sites too. And what you can do is you can actually use those images, import them in, and then create your own script or story. This is a lot of fun. You can also use programs like Comic Life, which is a paid program, and create comics and then upload them as well. But using public domain comic content can be a great way to get a lot of images and layouts and things like that that you can then use to create unique content. Another thing that you can do is you can actually combine your content with public domain content. And this has been very popular over the last few years. Probably the most well-known example is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. This is actually being made right now into a major motion picture, and I expect it to have a new resurgence in popularity. What you do with this, with fiction, is you would take and keep the original story and then you would add to it. You would add your own content to it. For example, in this story, it's the text of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and then Seth Grahame-Smith has actually added in some sections where the characters are fighting zombies. And you could do this with other types of stories too. If you want to use nonfiction, what you can include is an introduction or a conclusion or a modern day take. For example, if you are publishing a book on golf and it's in public domain, then you could actually include some up-to-date or modern golf tips. Now, with this type of content, what's great about it is once you've actually changed it, you can retain the copyright, and you should also credit the original author. You can see here that he has her name first and then his name. So with this, and also with the previous one that I was mentioning, you're actually moving that out of public domain. It becomes your content and you can claim copyright, and that's really powerful because then you can get more money on Amazon, and you can then, of course, market it as your own product as well, which is great. Now, in terms of actually getting into the specifics of public domain, I'm not going to be doing that in this video, which is why I'm recommending you go to some of these sites that already actually have the public domain content there for you. Once you get into using public domain and want to dig deeper, there are a number of ways, of course, that you can find out if information or content is actually in public domain. And the fourth way is you can actually use graphics and illustrations and create content around that. There are a ton of vintage images, graphics, and illustrations that are now in the public domain, and you can then, of course, add your own content and claim copyright like you can in the two previous strategies I showed you. And this is great because there's just a lot of great content out there. For example, you could get together some great images of dogs and then put that together like a vintage dog book or something like that with vintage photographs. If you want to learn more about using vintage content and publishing with vintage content, check out my training, Vintage Publishing Profits, which goes over how to actually publish and profit with public domain and vintage content. I hope you've enjoyed this training. If you want more tips, you can check out my blog. You can also subscribe to my blog feed and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll talk to you soon.